Published 0116 EDT, the 9th of August 2017. Updated 0427 EDT, the 9th of August 2017. Lawmakers led by Republican Senator John McCain have slammed Donald Trump for his empty, fire and fury threats to hit North Korea. "I take exception to the president's comments because you've got to be sure you can do what you say you're going to do," he said in a radio interview on Tuesday. "The great leaders I've seen don't threaten unless they're ready to act, and I'm not sure President Trump is ready to act." Meanwhile, Democratic lawmakers accused Trump of being reckless for making the unhinged and bombastic threats to the North Korean dictator. Trump had issued the warning to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un during a photo op at the Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster, New Jersey, after it was revealed that the communist country had successfully produced a miniaturized nuclear warhead. Republican Senator John McCain slammed Donald Trump for his empty, fire and fury threats to hit North Korea. "North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States," Trump warned. "They will be met with fire, fury and frankly power the likes of which this world has never seen before." McCain dismissed the overly aggressive comments as classic Trump. But the statement appears to have escalated tensions further, with North Korea, which has announced it is now considering firing missiles at Guam, a U.S.-held Pacific island. Comments from Trump came during a briefing on the opioid crisis on Tuesday at Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster. Trump stopped just short of a firm promise to declare war on Kim's government if the dictatorship continues to talk about physical action to the U.S. during the meeting in New Jersey with Kellyanne Conway left, HHS Secretary Tom Price, second left, Melania Trump second right, and the National Drug Control Policy Center's Richard Baumrighten. That has raised concerns back in the U.S. on both sides of the aisle as Democrat lawmakers criticized Trump for his reckless comments. "We need to be firm and deliberate with North Korea, but reckless rhetoric is not a strategy to keep America safe," Democratic Sen. Chuck Schumer of New York said in a statement issued Tuesday. California Sen. Dianne Feinstein agreed the president was not helping to de-escalate the situation with his bombastic comments, while New York Rep. Eliot Engel, the top Democrat on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, warned Trump may be drawing a line in the sand he can't retreat from. "Make no mistake, North Korea is a real threat, but the president's unhinged reaction suggests he might consider using American nuclear weapons in response to a nasty comment from a North Korean despot," Engel said. Former U.S. diplomat Douglas Paul, now with the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace think tank in Washington, said Trump should not get into a war of words with Pyongyang. "It strikes me as an amateurish reflection of a belief that we should give as we get rhetorically." The comments raised concerns back in the U.S. on both sides of the aisle as Democrat lawmakers California Sen. Dianne Feinstein left and Sen. Chuck Schumer of New York right warned the president was being reckless. "That might be satisfying at one level, but it takes us down into the mud that we should let Pyongyang enjoy alone," said Paul, who served as a White House official under previous Republican administrations. A Japanese government source said Japan was not asking for Trump to tone down his remarks, based on its "all options are on the table" stance. Trump had stopped just short of a firm promise to declare war on Kim's government if the dictatorship continues to talk about physical action to the U.S. on Tuesday. "North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States," Trump cautioned after a reporter asked him about the nuclear standoff. Trump told the world Tuesday morning that it must be vigilant against North Korea in the face of new threats from the country's young dictator. Kim had warned the United States that it would pay dearly for the United Nations sanctions regime it successfully imposed over the weekend, and hinted at military action as tensions continued to escalate. North Korea said it is carefully examining a plan to strike the U.S. Pacific territory of Guam with missiles. The strike plan will be put into practice in a multi-current and consecutive way any moment once leader Kim Jong-un file above makes a decision. Physical action will be taken mercilessly with the mobilization of all its national strength, North Korea's state-run news agency said Tuesday. After Trump's fire and fury warning, Pyongyang said it was carefully examining a plan to strike Guam, home to a U.S. military base that includes a submarine squadron, an airbase and a Coast Guard group. A Korean People's Army spokesman said in a statement carried by state-run KCNA news agency the plan would be put into practice at any moment once leader Kim Jong-un makes a decision. North Korea also accused the United States of devising a preventive war and said in another statement, citing a different military spokesman, any plans to execute this would be met with an all-out war wiping out all the strongholds of enemies, including the U.S. mainland. Washington has warned it is ready to use force if needed to stop North Korea's ballistic missile and nuclear program, but that it prefers global diplomatic action, including sanctions. The UN Security Council unanimously imposed new sanctions on North Korea on Saturday. A Washington Post report earlier in the day on Tuesday suggested that North Korea had invented a miniaturized warhead that it has the capability of attaching to the intercontinental ballistic missiles it's been testing. Guam, which is known as the tip of the spear, is home to thousands of American service members and their families at both Andersen Air Force Base and Naval Base Guam. A Washington Post report on Tuesday suggested that North Korea had invented a miniaturized warhead that it has the capability of attaching to the intercontinental ballistic missiles it's been testing. The development brings the country dangerously close to its goal of creating a nuclear weapon that can hit targets in the U.S. Guam, which is roughly 2,128 miles from North Korea, is home to both Andersen Air Force Base and Naval Base Guam. The two U.S. military bases house nuclear bombers and other key assets. They both fall under Joint Region Marianas. Andersen Air Force Base is located on the north end of Guam, approximately 15 miles from the capital Agana. It is in the village of Yugo. The base houses bomber assurance and deterrence missions, including 6 B-52s, which the Air Force says provide strategic global strike capability to deter potential adversaries and provide reassurance to allies. Naval Base Guam is located on the southwest side of the island and has 4 fast-attack nuclear submarines and an expeditionary helicopter squadron. Roughly 28% of the island is occupied by the U.S. military. At least 6,000 U.S. troops are stationed there. Alaska, Hawaii and California would be at an especially high risk if Kim's scientists finish the weapons and North Korea decides to use them. Sen. Dan Sullivan Alaska said on Tuesday that he is seriously worried about a possible North Korean missile strike on his state as well as the rest of the United States. There's concern, but there's also pride, Sullivan said on Fox News as the story Tuesday. Alaska is the cornerstone of our nation's missile defense. He added that Alaska's Missile Defense Battalion is literally protecting the country. The Alaska Guard unit there calls themselves the 300, protecting the 300 million, Sullivan said. So that's what they're doing now, protecting us. According to the report, U.S. officials estimate that Kim now has 60 nuclear weapons in his possession. By comparison, the U.S. is estimated to have more than 6,800 in its stockpile, and Russia is thought to have 7,000. Shortly after Trump's morning message, United States Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley appeared on Fox Friends to deliver tough talk to North Korea and take a victory lap on sanctions. The United States will respond accordingly, and I think the international community will respond accordingly, she said of the dangerous actions that Kim could take in response to the punishing actions.